In today's video, we have a fantastic attack strategy for you. They're back there strong and they can help you 3-star. It is Root Riders. You can dominate legends with them, let's show you how. So for this army composition, you will need the following: 4 Root Riders, 5 Healers, 4 Valkyries, a mini Apprentice Warden, and 2 Ice Golems. For your spells, you will need 6 Invisors, 1 Overgrowth, 1 Poison, and 1 Recall spell. For the Clan Castle, 2 Root Riders, 1 Rocket Loon, and 1 Regular Balloon, alongside an Overgrowth and 2 Totem spells. On the King, you want Frosty, Snake Bracelet, and Spiky Ball. For the Archer Queen, it's Sneezy, Giant Arrow, and Action Figure. For the Grand Warden, it's Diggy, Ray Gem, and Eternal Tome. And for the Royal Champion, it is the Fox with the Rocket Spear and Electro Boots. Link to this army will be down in the description. Let's jump into some attacks. So as you can see right here, we have a very toxic regular Legends League base. So we are going to start off with the Royal Champion charge from the 6 o'clock side of the base. And basically, what this will allow us to do is take down this multi-archer tower, potentially get this X-Bow as well, and set up the pathing for the Root Riders. And sometimes the plans do go a little bit wayward, so you should always be willing to kind of readjust. So we saw that we wanted to get this air defense X-Bow and this Rico cannon at the top, but because the Royal Champion ended up veering off to the right hand side, we now have the accessibility to get this Super Wizard Tower, this air defense, and potentially get this X-Bow and this Monolith depending on the pathing. And now with the Royal Champion getting pulled by the Minion Prince, the nice thing here is we don't get the value that we want, but we do have the pathing, right? So the pathing is the most key thing. Because we managed to clear off this section of the base, now we have got a clear-cut path where we can force our Root Riders into here, and then we could potentially drop an Overgrowth on this Rage Tower compartment, which would force all of our Root Riders down, or we can then Overgrowth over near the Town Hall. So it gives us multiple variations, but right here we have got the first OG on that Rage Tower, which is going to make all of our Root Riders go down onto this air defense. Of course, the Log Launcher activating that Invis Tower right there, which is absolutely perfect. So that means that now our Root Riders will path directly in towards this multi-Inferno Tower Fire Spitter compartment where the long shot is. The heroes, of course, making the funnel on the outside, clearing trash buildings, also clearing defenses. And this is what was absolutely perfect right here. You saw, as soon as this Overgrowth wore off, we popped that Warden Eternal Tome immediately to make sure our Root Riders stay nice and healthy and they can take down that compartment. Another great thing was with this Overgrowth, we managed to get the multi-gear. We also got the Monolith and also this Bomb Tower. So that forces all of our Root Riders to push in unison with the heroes, which is going to make taking down the remaining defenses so much better. And of course, we had a couple of Rocket Loons in our army as well, which allowed us to take care of the exterior defenses on this side. And then with our hero abilities, we could have cleared up the rest. And again, it's super simple, straightforward. Let's jump into some more replays and we'll break it down for you even further. So again, as you can see, with this Legends League base right here, it's very symmetrical. It has got these scatters and the X-bows on both sides of the base. So the main goal right here is going to be to take care of one of the Fire Spitters and also make a funnel, because that way you can either go into the Town Hall or you can finish far side on the Town Hall. It really depends on the attacking style and the funnel that you get from the Royal Champion, because if we were to take down all of this compartment with also the X-Bow at the top side, we could then come far side directly into that Monolith, which would give us perfect pathing to finish on the Town Hall. And this is exactly what we're going to show you guys right here. The pathing of the Root Riders is highly dependent on what this Royal Champion can achieve. Now, we end up recalling that Royal Champion right there. Now, we have two options. We can either come in on this scatter, or we could have gone through the Town Hall. But we decided to go in through the scatter. Now, the main reason is we can potentially Overgrowth right here on top of this Poison Tower, which then gives us a clear-cut path, and it makes an L shape all the way across, right? So we have that Giant Arrow coming from the Log Launcher. There's that Overgrowth. It was a shame that we missed the Revenge Tower, but it's not the end of the world. And now the main reason for this Log Launcher is it breaks the funnel for the Root Riders, so they can go Rico Cannon directly in towards that Monolith right there. And the heroes, they're going to wrap around. They'll be able to clean up this whole 3 o'clock side. So you want to kind of have some kind of synchronization with your troops and your heroes at all times. Of course, the Warden ability goes off, as the Overgrowth and the Multi-Infernos comes off, then we end up overgrowthing this bottom side because we want to reduce the damage on the heroes and make sure our Root Riders catch up with the heroes so that when this overgrowth does wear off, they do not get overwhelmed with damage, which is going to be absolutely amazing. And this is what Robble does so well. Of course, we need that queen to kill off this super dragon alongside that royal champion. Otherwise, it could destroy our entire army. That's why keeping the queen alive is so important. And there you have it, man. Now it's all down to how long will it take for these defenses to go down. But the execution was near perfect. The only unfortunate part is the fact that he lost his fox to the bomb hive. But again, a very, very nice, well-orchestrated attack. It was nice and controlled the whole way, using the log launcher at the beginning. So even in Legends, you have to make sure that you're attacking the right way. Otherwise, you are going to end up running into problems. And of course, breaking the funnel at the top side was absolutely perfect. And this is another example of how strong Root Riders are. Let's jump into another replay and we'll break it down even further. So again, this is a very similar base to the last one. A very similar-esque style, like in the symmetry. Also, the scatters being on the outside. We have got a lot of funneling on the outside as well. And we can, use our Royal Champion to make the pathing where we wanted. And then with this option right here, he will have two options again. Now, dependent on which side he thinks more valuable, it depends on what the value your Royal Champion can achieve. Right here, getting this Fire Spitter, getting the Air Sweeper, and then if the RC goes towards that mortar, we can get even more value. Of course, we have plenty of invises on this attack. But the Royal Champion charge is essentially so important, right? You want to make sure you're maximizing the Fox with the RC to get as much of the value as you possibly can. A little bit unfortunate that he did find that tornado trap right there, but is able to keep that Fox cycle, which is absolutely perfect. And now look at the value that he's going to get. I will zoom out in just a second once he does use this last invis. Look at this. All the way from the 10 o'clock side, we made it all the way over to around about 8 o'clock. We're going to use a couple of archers right here just to make the funnel. And now it's going to be the same format as you saw in the previous replay. Root Riders coming on in from the 10 o'clock side. And we are going to end up overgrowthing primarily over that Rage Tower because it allows our troops to wrap around perfectly in unison with the heroes. Log Launcher coming directly in through 6 o'clock right here. Again, it's basically breaking the funnel so that we can push on through. Giant Arrow does get the activation of the Invis Tower at the top side, but again, the overgrowth directly on that Rage Tower, getting the Revenge Tower this time, and this is going to allow our troops and our heroes to work in unison so they can get through the scatter, the recoil cannon, also the export on the far side. And the most important part is that we are going to be coming behind the Fire Spitters. So we take down one Fire Spitter, we use a couple of rocket loons to take down that bomb tower so we can make sure that we're not getting that splash damage right there. We end up overgrowthing the Revenge Tower for a second time. Now the main reason we did this is because the pathing for the Town Hall would be very problematic. And now with that second overgrowth, it allows us to save our Warden Eternal Tome. And that means that we can use it potentially now, exactly right for when this Town Hall is going to be going invis, because we are going to have a lot of damage from the long shot, the minion prince, all of that. We will be having issues with the Revenge Tower, but because of that Warden making everything nice and healthy, allowing those healers to heal everything back up, we can power through, and this is a much more overpowering 3-star than we did see in the last one. And we had a few minor adjustments, but it worked out very well. Now here we have the fourth replay and the final one. Guys, if you made it this far in the video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff. Use code BLUE for any in-game purchases. Now let's carry on right here. So deploying the Royal Champion at the 8 o'clock side, basically it is a very symmetrical base, so we wanted to get the bomb tower down because it can do damage to the Root Riders. We used the invis on top of this recoil cannon to ensure that we get the scatter and path in towards this multi-target inferno. Because the multis are isolated, they can cause issues, but the Royal Champion then coming back for this recoil cannon is actually not the worst thing in the world, but we don't need it to go down. Now, the main reason is, and you're going to see exactly why, right? So I'm going to pause the video right here. So we've taken down this whole section of the base, okay? So what this allows us to do now is we can start clean up at the 3 o'clock side, but it gives us this massive L shape. If you can look, if I click on the multi-gear tower, if I click on the scatter, the multi-inferno, and also the recoil cannon, it makes that L shape. So we've essentially taken 25% or a square out of the base over at the 9 o'clock side of the base. And now this provides us with the L shape, and that's where the root riders are going to come in. We're going to use our heroes, of course, on the outer flank right there just to reinforce the root riders, but everything's going to be working in unison together to take down all of this. We're trying to force the root riders to go in and pick off the scatter, the multi, whilst the heroes work on that, but everything's working together. Now, the main reason for this warden ability very, very early on is because we want to make sure that the RC didn't go down, because it is very detrimental that the RC stays alive. Otherwise, we can have problems later on. Now, the overgrowth right here, the main reason for this overgrowth is so that when the root riders do come on in to this fire spitter, we don't see the split going to the builder huts and then they go to the other fire spitter, because that's going to be bad. The splitting of root riders is very, very problematic. So here, once they go to the fire spitter, they're going to work in unison. They're going to go to the export, the air defense right there, and they're going to work with the heroes rather than against them. And that's why the second overgrowth was used on the other fire spitter, because we want to get this bomb hive down, as it is a very big nuisance, right? But again, our troops are staying nice and compact together with the assistance of the heroes, and the root riders, of course, are staying alongside them because they are defense targeting, which allows everything to work in unison. It has a great synergy together, and this plan is going to manage to get the 3-star right here as well, purely because of the overgrowth and how he used it to kind of manipulate the pathing of the troops with the OGs, which made everything kind of work well. And right here, you're going to say, well, there's no root riders left. This got lucky. Well, realistically, it didn't get lucky because we have got plenty of healers on the queen, and it is going to be very well done because of us being able to get as much value as we did with those heroes, with the RC dive, with, of course, the root riders, and the way we path them into the defenses that can do actual damage to our troops. We managed to get the 3-star and get the job done. And this is exactly how you can 3-star in Legends with root riders. Make sure you use this army. Let us know in the comments. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll catch you in the next video. Peace out.